Hello again, this is Eric with Auburn AV. You can check us out at auburnav.com, learn more about us. We're on to the next video in our series of Clarity training. And on this video, we're going to work on our groups. You can make groups in your rig view, which we talked about in the last video, and we created this rig view here. You can also create groups in Programmer. We talked a little bit about how to create a group in rig view. We did create this group here, which is the upstage wash. We'll go ahead and create the rig view for the other electric as well. We selected them all individually by left clicking, and we add to group, and we're going to do downstage wash. And hit record. So that's got our group in there. One thing to know about groups in Clarity, and I think this is similar with a lot of softwares, but what you want to do is it's important the order that you select the fixtures is also recorded to the group. So if you wanted to do a dynamic or an effects that went across the chase this way in a fashion that goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then you would need to save the fixtures in that way also. So if you want some that go from left to right and then also some from right to left, then you would need to create groups that go left to right and right to left. So as an example, if I wanted to do, we already have those upstage and downstage washes, so we can create another group going the opposite direction and hit that to group, and we'll do upstage wash right to left. We'll tend to do it that way. I always do things left to right, so if it's not labeled, then I'll assume, for my own personal programming, I always assume that that's left to right. You can also do them random orders also, so if you wanted to jump around like this, you could do that. Also, if you hold down, say if I'm going to select this whole row, you can also hold down and then you'll see that there, and it tells you what number of the fixtures were selected in. So if I'm selecting left to right my entire upstage electric, then I can do it that way. It's a lot faster. Hit to group, and we'll do upstage electric. And then we'll click in an open space to get to go away, and then we'll go back across, drag across the same way in the opposite direction, hit to group, and upstage electric right to left. So creating groups is very important for your programming. It helps you to grab fixtures that you're going to use often into groups. So if you're going to use an upstage wash very often in that group, then you're going to want to have a group set where you can just click on that and it selects all the fixtures in that group. So you have to keep coming over here and grabbing each one. Or if you go into Programmer under the groups section, you have all your groups listed here, but you also have, these are listed out by the fixture. You can change the name of these, so if you want to rename that to something that means something to you and not just their random name they assign it. So if you want to do 6 pars, and I'll do P spots, and we'll go Kryptons on here. That way it's a name that means something. So if you have somebody coming in and they need to select a fixture, they don't have to know what the random acronym that Clarity assigned. You can make it whatever you want. So I select 6 pars. It gives me a list of all these 6 pars. You can select all with that button. You can also left click and drag down, select them. You can select fixtures by just clicking on them individually. To click off, you do the same thing, left click. You can hit the none button to not select any. You can do odd, and it automatically selects all of your odd fixtures, which is handy to make into a group. So we'll do wash odd. That gives us a group there, and you'll see here that it populated. And also in the palettes section, you have a groups area here, and this gives you all your groups in that area also. That's how you make groups, and you just need to sit and think about how you or what you're going to select often in your programming, because programming can take several hours, especially if it's a theatrical show or something like that. Then you have specials. So you say, for instance, if this 6-par on your rig, you're going to use this one for a special spot, then you may want to make a group of just this fixture, and that way you can grab it quickly when you're in these other modes, and you don't have to come over here and select. And you'll make groups as you go, because you'll discover as you're programming that there's something that's going to be more helpful to you to create a group. And the rig view makes that fairly easy to just come in and grab it from your stage plot instead of having to know that you want to use the 12th 6-par. Well, what if you don't remember where you stuck the 12th 6-par? Well, you can go over here to rig view. You know the 12th 6-par is right there. That's an overview on groups. It gives you an idea of how to make groups, and as you go, you'll understand that how important groups are. Also, this sort window here, you can sort fixtures by ID and groups of 2, subgroups of, and you can buddy the lights together. You can reset grouping, auto reset. It's something to help you select fixtures randomly a little quicker. So if you want to do random groups of fixtures for effects, you would use this sort section here. That's all for groups. We're going to move on to our programmer section. In the next video, we'll get into start creating some how to make these lights actually do something. So thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next video about the programmer section.